Hello, everyone. Welcome to Niche Sports. And as promised, we've got for you another very interesting person from the world of sport. Now, we often talk about players, we even talk about coaches and how they take center stage on a cricket field or any field for that matter. But let me also tell you that there are people behind the scenes who are working incredibly hard, who also have got a very vital role to play in the success of a team. And joining me today is Shriram, a very dear friend of mine who has worked with the Delhi Capitals, with the Afghanistan cricket team, with numerous other cricket teams around the globe as a performance analyst. And he's got a wealth of experience that we all can learn from. So, Sriram, thank you so much for joining us on Niche Sports.
Thank you, Nishad, for having me here today.
And Haliram, I always say that when I walk onto a field and I see someone like you, I see this aura, and that aura is one of a lot of confidence. It's almost as if people will say you're like a player, but it is important because you have that kind of contribution because you're putting all the pieces in the puzzle as a performance analyst. But we will first start with your journey. How did it all start for you in the world of cricket analytics, in the world of sports performance analysis, etc.? Because I understand you were a cricketer. So how did that switch happen at a time when there weren't so many career options?
Absolutely. I think, all of us would have dreamt of playing the sport at some stage, isn't it? So we all wanted to either represent your state or your country. And that's how we all started playing the sport, isn't it? So that's how you and I started. Obviously, I was a bit lucky to be where I was, and I was probably not good enough to be playing the sport, but eventually my mentors then playing for the team, the they sort of said that there is a parallel career to this sport in this field, and you could probably just get into that and see whether this you can make a career out of it. Because I was then good at my computers, the way I was doing my studies, and I was very tech savvy, and then I wanted to learn a lot of technology and coding and stuff. So then somebody said there is some parallel career, like getting into the sports analytics and see what you can make out of this. Mr. Bharat Reddy, who was running the team then from Sanmar Group, whom I was playing for. Then he
Is
said
this
there is an opportunity.
is this
He
Mr.
said
Bharat Reddy who's played for India as a wicketkeeper?
for India, yes, yeah. So he then said there is a parallel career option for you. Why don't you just take a chance and see whether it works out for you? But that's how it started all. And I'm telling you this, I'm so grateful to him, because not everyone will get an opportunity like this to be doing what they love to do. And that, that was almost a coincidence, but then that became my full-time career now, and I'm loving it. One of those lucky chosen ones, I would say, to be doing what I'm doing, what I like. So that was pretty incidental, but it is giving me results, and it's fruitful in my career so far. So
Getting the idea is one thing, but what are the steps you took to put it into practice? Because it's one thing that I think I want to be a sports performance analyst or a cricket performance analyst, but you have to get there. How did that journey begin for you? What are the qualifications that you had to go through to in order to get there? And what was your first project?
you see, any new work is always a struggle, until you sort of establish yourself or to even get a hang of the field. Yeah, it was the same for me as well. I went on to study because I had a bit of technology, background, and I knew how it works, and I put those pieces of learnings from different places, and understood how much different or how difficult it is to shape up from in this career. I had my own struggles. First 3-4 years was like terrible. I couldn't get a breakthrough. But then there was this ICL, Indian Cricket League, then, which is no longer there now, and I got an opportunity again through Mr. Bharat Reddy, and that was my very first assignment in cricket in 2005, I think. Uh, when I started, again, look, I was at a nascent stage, and I have no clue about how this works. A lot of new coaches then, someone like Moin Khan or a Steve Erickson or a Michael Bevan
Yes.
would ask you all these questions, and you had to, live up to that extent of, their questions, and you have to be able to answer them. And for me, that was a very first assignment. I could sometimes, I get nervous. Sometimes I was probably, way too behind what of their requirements, and I had no clue sometimes, okay, what would they ask? Because I never worked in this environment before, and I was never part of any other company who were then doing the analysis and providing the stats and information. No, I had to start it all by myself and just live with it. So everything was new for me, and it was a bit of struggle for me. But eventually I actually kept up with the pace, and in 2 years time, I was there where every other requirement fell in place for me, and I could do what I was expected, right? But yes, the journey began like that, and there was a lot of study that I had to go through. And I went to Australia. I did my masters in sports science, worked as an intern there, did a small project with Cricket Australia. Then I did my coaching certifications, level 1 and level 2. Um, it sort of everything came together for me. Just after that, IPL started, and I was doing some freelance work for different teams. I was doing for a lot of other associate nations, to start with US cricket, then went on with Singapore, Malaysia, Kenya, all of those teams, and Nepal cricket when Nepal qualified for the World Cup for the very first time in 2013. Then, like that, every single stage I had somebody giving me opportunities, and I did for other sports as well, kabaddi, badminton. I've done Asian Games. So I had to. It was my own struggle to come into this industry, to let people know that I am part of this industry. Please give me a job. Please give me one opportunity to showcase myself. It took a while for me, but the process is very, I never wanted to give up, because I know I'm made for this. At least I may not be so good in my playing career, but I cannot give up on this, because I know I'm so good at this, and this is where my livelihood is. This is where my life is, and this is where my heart is. Because once you give up this, I'll again have to think. I've already spent about 5-6 good years here. What else can I do? That was the thought process behind it. uh, One thing I should say is, the commitment, the passion was always there, the commitment and the perseverance. I Although I had literally failed in every instance possible in the first 2-3 years, I did not give up. I said, look, I can do it. I know people are not giving me opportunities because I'm still not good enough. People still need to know me. I mean, anyone for that matter, even a cricketer, when he comes in, he may not get enough opportunities until he proves himself in the first few instances that he gets to play. So that's how much a struggle it was. The coaches have to start believing what you say, and you have to be able to give them the information that they can embrace, and then they believe it. Maybe I was starting to get the hang of it. Then it was, I mean, like, I do not look back at all when I actually started having some success with the associate nations. I eventually got a breakthrough with the Sri Lankan national team. um, Worked for a few years with them. Was massively, I mean, so much of experience that I got from them. It was massively satisfying, I should say, because I thought that I'm just not made for that. That's why I'm not getting opportunities to work with the big teams. And you can easily get demotivated. That also, coming from a background where you don't have many people to come and help you out, and you have to do everything by yourself. uh, I was I was blessed. I was lucky as well to be getting that opportunity, and that's how it shaped up. Then I went on to work in free. I was a freelancer, since beginning.
Hmm.
So it never worked with a company as such. So what happened was, then I got an opportunity to do some small assignments with Star Sports, with 10 Sports as a broadcaster, and then a little bit of graphics work, uh, analytics for them, and worked with the Formula One, pit crew as a pit crew. I
Wow.
mean, so much, we could actually get from various experiences. Yeah, but then in the last few years, worked with Afghanistan team, travel the world with going and working with CPL and other teams as well. So T10, the latest being the T10, the last few years. Yeah, but so that's how it actually shaped up. I mean, when you ask me how, every single stage, I mean, the evolution of
Hmm.
the sport from what it was to those two main formats to T20, and the T20's evolution itself. In the first 2-3 years, it was looked at differently. Then a lot of number crunching happened, a lot of deep insights of the game. Now it is all about matchups to understand how the Australians looked at the game, how the Englishmen looked at the game, how we in India looked at it, how the number crunching and data were put into use, how much of it came into effect in the last 6-7 years. So it's actually a brilliant evolution, I would say, totally, from what it was and to what it is right now. And every year there is a new learning. Like 2 years back, we were not so high on the matchups, but yes, we were talking about the plans, executing those plans. The bowlers have to embrace those things and understanding each and every bowler, what they would do to the opposition and stuff. But now it's more one-on-one. Like if Rabada has to go and bowl, Rabada has to go and get that, come what may. Whether if he's good at bowling against David Warners or AB de Villiers, or so we have those matchups now. It's more concise, more precise to be going and executing those plans on the field. So it's gone to that extent right now, that deep.
But can you tell me a little bit about how difficult it was, say, moving into different sports? Because you said you took up working with a pit crew in Formula One, you worked in Kabaddi, Asian Games, and you're primarily a cricket person. So how challenging was it, and how easily did you manage to adjust?
I mean, to be honest, when I was growing up, I played a lot of sports. Table tennis, badminton. Like I said, all of this. When you grow up as a kid, you will get a chance to play at some stage, either in your school or in your community where you grew up. All of that. So I was lucky to be part of a few circle, where we all used to hang out together after the school, and that's how we started playing those sports, badminton, a bit of table tennis, and all of football and all of that. So I represented zonals for football. I was a goalkeeper, and then I played badminton again for the zone, South Zone. Table tennis not so much, but just as a pastime. We all friends, quite often we go and play in a area where we stayed, in a community where we had all those facilities. So I was lucky. So I picked up that sport. So I was always, I wouldn't say an athlete by a professional, as a professional, but yeah, I could still connect with the game.
You
That
had
is
an
how.
inclination of being in
Yeah, I
sports.
always had the inclination towards every sport, to pick up the sport and to go and play or get a hang of it. And as just sports, that DNA should always come from within. You will not you will not acquire it. Yeah. Yeah, this was that was my journey with regards to the playing the sport and the connect. With regards to developing a solution for a sport, whether it's badminton or a football, it was quite easy for me because I know I was doing this for cricket, and once I got a hang of developing the softwares and the way uh, the system is built, the analytical tools are built for cricket, I could replicate the major part of it for the other sport as well. Like for example, badminton solution was built in less than 2 months from my side.
Oh,
And
wow.
I had a team of people who helped me out with designing and laying out the user interfaces and all that. So I had a very reasonably good team to work with me. And it sort of helped me build various other solutions for table tennis, for football. um, 2010 I did a lot of work with youth Olympics in Singapore.
Hmm.
So that also gave me a little bit of platform to go and execute myself and to get a lot of exposure there actually. And I did for yoga and karate. So the combat sports also gave me a little bit of insight of how an Olympic sport, Olympic association can approach us or be useful for them, and things like that. And badminton, squash, all of this, like I'm not saying that I know all the sport, but the basis was that where the movement is there, the analysis is possible. That was the criteria for me. So wherever there is movement, I know there is analysis possible. So whether it's a kabaddi or a cricket, you should know the sport, the complete knowledge of the sport. If you are aware of it, then it is only matter of time you work with the experts and then get what you have to do there. So it took me some time to build a software solution for Kabaddi as well. Since its inception, the first year onwards, I built a system for Kabaddi called Pro Raider, and that has been used by a lot of PKL teams. Um, of late till last year, we were working with Haryana Steelers and all that. So That's how it is.